You there?
Yeah, what happened?
What happened?
Now tuning in to the Val and Val show, where conversation is art, 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 art. Conversation is art, conversation is art. You should chime in, ain't no telling what to spark on the Val and Val show. Ain't no telling the Val and Val show. You know, ain't no telling where we go on the Val and Val show. Ain't no ceiling, cause the art of conversation is the flow. It's that creativity available when we speak, available in our homes, available in the streets. We just trying to get it sparking and take it a little deeper. Keep it casual while fireside chatting with our people. Yeah, we take it a little deeper. It get hot when we fireside chatting with our people. Cause conversation is art, conversation is art. You should just chime in, ain't no telling what'll spark on the Val, the Val and Val show. The Val.
I don't know what's up with this music today, but whatever. Hey
Yeah.
y'all.
What's up, folks?
Hey
What's up?
y'all.
What's up? Hope everybody's doing well. It's hot.
Hey, that might be what's wrong with the song. You think the song hot?
Hey, it could be. Could be a hot song.
Oh yes.
Could be.
It has been
Well, folks,
something.
we're so glad that you all joined in for another round of the Val and Val show. We have been moving and grooving and trying to keep your interest for the last 2 years. And hopefully, we've been doing a good job. I
Yeah.
know Val has been phenomenal in doing a good job. I haven't really been focused on it as much as she has, but she has really kept me on my toes by calling me and saying, "You better be on tonight" or whatever, like she did today. But anyway,
But anyway, welcome
hello, Eleanor.
everyone. Welcome. Hey Eleanor, glad to see you. That look, this is one of our faithful followers right here. Very
Yes, she
faithful.
is, and we're thankful. We're thankful for the faithful followers.
For sure,
You know,
for
I've heard the
sure.
tone
Yep. So
of the
Vala,
statement
what's been
made, "A faithful
happening
few."
in your world?
Oh
Cause
my
I ain't
God!
seen you.
Well, I know, right? It's been crazy, Val. We got 5 film camps we're running right now.
Wow.
And yeah, I know, right? God has been good. And we are filming a new movie on the 20th of August with a lot of young people in the city, in the county, Jefferson County, Birmingham City, uh, called Mr. Henry's Place.
Mm.
And one of the great things that has also happened is that we submitted Welcome to Dunder Heights to Film Hub. Now, ladies and gentlemen,
Okay.
let me explain what Film Hub does. Receive your film or any film, and before it goes out to the world, they have to grade it, make sure it passes quality control, all the bells and whistles, closed captioning, hearing impaired, and the number of minutes it needs to be, yada, 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 yada. Well, we got word last week that Welcome to Dunder Heights has been picked up by 2 major networks.
Wow.
I can't mention, yeah, thank you so much. I appreciate that. Appreciate that. I can't mention what those are just yet, but we will make an announcement so that everybody can rush to see those episodes on the same platform or different platforms. But what we want to do is make sure everybody can see it and view it and give us a score so that we can start to build out the platform for ourselves. And
Okay.
I
Well,
want you all
great.
to understand that it's not for me, huh? It's for the young people because a lot of these young people we're bringing on set. We're teaching them how to film, teach them how to shoot, how to do all these sorts of things, do voiceovers, speak in front of a camera, which is very important. The ahs and the ums and all that sort of stuff has to go out the window. You have to speak concisely and succinctly. So we're trying to teach our kids that, and that's what we're doing right now in the film camp. Now, since you asked, um, we got one going at 670 Baptist Church. Hey, darling, La Cherie. I'll see you in a little bit. And we have 4 at West End Academy, Huffman High School, Parker High School, and
Hmm.
Phillips Academy. And
Okay.
we're bringing those to a close on next week, the 7th of July. So that's what's been going on with me.
For sure. Oh, well, that's great. That's great. That's great. Well, look, people. We didn't know what we were going to talk about tonight. We just said a hot topic,
Uh-oh.
but we didn't know the volcano was going to erupt today.
Well,
I just
well,
text Valter and I said, we're going to talk about a hot topic. So, well. Looks like it's super hot, like volcanic hot. The SCOTUS
yeah,
rendered their decision on affirmative action as it relates to college admissions. And they have deemed that is racist and discrimination to have that as a law. And this may be sad in one way, and by no means don't think when I say this I'm apathetic, but I was not angry, ready to fight, or anything like that because I don't have any expectations of America doing what is right for all of its people no anymore. That is, what did my Angelou say? When people show you who they are, believe them. Trust me, I
believe him.
wholeheartedly believe that this country now is actually regressing. And I know when I sent this out earlier today, what we were going to talk about, I just said Supreme Court overturns affirmative action. But as I thought about it, I came up with this topic: America regressed. And that's really where we are, you all. America's really regressed. And I'm more convinced. This past Saturday, I went to get voter rights. Well, it's called Power Participation. It's a program by Greater Birmingham Ministries where they educate you on how to go out into the community to educate others, be it in schools, even starting from elementary school on up, on how to be prepared to vote, and not about party, but about selecting candidates that have your best interests at heart, not by what they say when they come out, but can you go back in their history and see a track record of them doing what they said they do, even at a grassroots level, or not, or did they just show up all of a sudden with all these promises? And one of the what do you call it? One of the training things we had to do were we had to take
On the
the
modules,
Voter Rights Act. So it started from,
on the
I think, when it first, well, before that, and we had to line these cards up in order to do the timeline of how things happen. Interestingly enough, as we went down that line and put them up and came up to today's world, and I actually told them, y'all need to add the current situations, if not the cost of the current day tactics to, roll back voter rights. I said to the group, and it was a diverse group, I said, the sadness in this was that when I looked at that timeline, I see us regressing back down that timeline rather than doing what is right. As we see right here in Alabama, we're fighting right now to try to get, like, this is just it, a majority more for Black people to be able to vote and elect another person in our state government
right.
in 2023. So it's just kind of been one of those reflective moments with me, like, what I'm getting mad for? When somebody that's been busting you upside your head,
Par for the course.
yeah, bust you upside your head.
We're not surprised.
Yeah.
We're not surprised. When Justice John Roberts said that for far too long, universities have concluded wrongly that the touchstone of individuals' identity is not challenged by the skills built or lessons learned, but the color of their skin. He's basically saying, you guys, we have done this the wrong way. We have allowed for you all to get into colleges because you are a particular race.
And we should not have.
Then of course, Clarence Thomas said that the second black justice called for an end to affirmative action because it's rudderless, race-based preferences designed to ensure particular racial mix in entering classes. Of course, he would know about racial mix, wouldn't he?
Yeah. But you know what, Valton?
But
this is interesting about that. As I read this, I was like, okay, you benefited, Clarence Thomas. Excuse me, I'm gonna be respectful. Justice Clarence Thomas benefited
whatever.
from affirmative action. And then you have Justice Thurgood Marshall, the first Black justice, who fought, Brown versus Education,
For you to benefit.
fought for us to be
from
able to get an educate. Let me say this: not get an education, but to be acclimated into the white school system where they had better, better classroom, better buildings and books and everything. And I'm more, every day I'm agreeing with my dad. God rest his soul. He said we should have fought for those equal rights, but stayed together. I'm seeing that more and more. And I actually thought about it. If you really wanted equality back then, why did you not bus half black people over to the quote unquote the white schools and then white people over to the black schools? Then you would have shown you were serious, because you would have made all the schools, no matter what community they were in, have resources and want them to be successful. So with this, I'm just like, come on. And then I went on to look to see, what people were saying, because it was an article I found say what it does and does not do. They say race can still be a part of admissions applications, but of course, people not convinced of that.
Well, let's deal with that
Yeah.
right there. So race can still be a part of the admissions application to weed you out.
Oh, but
Go
no,
ahead.
but this is what Justice Roberts said. He noted that applicants could share in essays how their heritage or culture motivated them to take on a leadership role, or how they were adversely affected by discrimination. Give your story. Now, I was thinking, okay, you just said it really don't matter as a black. You already said as a black person. What are you talking about? You've been oppressed. You ain't had no problems in the world. You know, pretty much what he's saying now. Ain't none of y'all been a slave. I beg to differ. It's just slave in a different way by policies and laws. We have a legal
Right.
plantation now. But I read that and I was like, wow. And y'all know I've been screaming it since I read it. White rage. Oh my God. It is leaping off the pages. This is what Professor Carol Anderson talked about in her book. She talked about white males in particular, because they control this narrative, and now they got a few of the white women coming along, the Marjorie Greens and those sorts coming along with their agendas, who are beyond ignorant. Uh, and I don't mean ignorant of what they're doing, just stupid ignorant is what I mean. That's what I mean tonight.
Mhm.
But you think about, I looked at who was celebrating. Oh, Ted Cruz. And I'm quite sure Tommy Tuberville had some, probably don't say it some, but I couldn't find his. And of course, Donald Trump had to come, and he got all kind of egregious sexual allegations and everything with him, but he's still the
What,
man.
what that clown say? What that clown
Well,
say?
he just said what a great day. Basically, was saying what a great day in America. And I did, I have been posting a lot of stuff related to this political stuff and all going in America. But I posted some today on Facebook, and I spoke particularly to what I said earlier. And I opened it up this way. I said, many are angry and upset about this decision. However, there are many that are happy and celebrate. The fact it happened does not surprise me, because this is the goal of MAGA minded people, to legitimize and legalize ways to reinstate systems of oppression of Black, Latina, Indigenous, and a few other people of color who don't fit the palette of whiteness, mainly driven by white males. What should be a focal point is how soon this occurred after being made law in 1961, compared to how long it took for Black people to gain freedom from physical slavery. The abuse and use of policy and laws by the majority rule due to fear of losing their power and position is coming to life every day, as described by Professor Anderson in her very thoroughly written book, White Rage. And then I talked about Clarence Thomas benefiting.
Well, Valerie, let me say this, uh, listeners, please be very clear that my position on this is my opinion and not that of Valerie's or anyone else's. I'm extremely radical when it comes to things of this nature, we should have long since had our own platforms in every area of life. Church is obviously the most segregated
Yeah.
time, but our schools, we should have held up the banner
Yeah.
of the blood stain and kept going with HBCUs. The NFL, they are piss poor when it comes to standing up. Look back at what happened to Colin
Yep.
Kaepernick, and it's going to continue to happen. This is nothing more than the foolishness of some saltines that continue to carry their banner, their water, as long as we're getting a paycheck.
Now,
So,
Baptist, don't be calling the folks saltines. Just say
well,
white.
well,
Just say
well,
white.
well, I didn't, it is what it is. So, you know,
Let us stay on this side of it,
well,
okay? I
well,
know, I
hey,
know you want to go.
I'm not Michelle Obama. You know,
Okay,
when you go low, and my daughter would say, "I go
you
to
gonna
hell," but
pray.
that ain't how I do it. But I just remain, intellectual on the matter. That the fact is that they are doing some things that we knew were coming down the pike. There are going to be
Yeah.
some more things that's coming down the pike, and if we don't stand up and stand together, we're going to continue to sink.
Yeah, it's happening right now, even with the voter stuff. And Rita
Yeah.
Gully posted almost 30% of the incoming freshman class to Harvard is Asian.
It's Asian,
And
right?
and no, if you all haven't researched this lawsuit was taken to the Supreme Court by a group called the Students for Fair Admissions, argued that such provisions of affirmative action for Black and Latinos discriminated against Asian American students. Now, if you have 30% of the incoming freshman class at Harvard is Asian, I guarantee you it ain't Latino or Black or even close to that. So they're being very represented. Now, the reason they're being chosen, be assured, it's a underlying motive that's going to benefit the white male and the white race as a whole. So that is why this happened. But now they have a voter survey in 2020. 70% of Asian Americans support affirmative action, and 53%. This is in 2023. 53% of Asian Americans who had heard of affirmative action said they believe it's a good thing. But you do have some, and I get those up, of Asian Americans feel that this is a great thing. And for me, a couple of weeks ago, I actually pulled all the census from 1940 up until 2020 to look at how was race identified on the census. That's what I wanted to know. So of course, starting out, this had blocks and you put W, B, or whatever. However, in 2020, for the first time, they started listing out beside races what identified that race. And of course, they had a et cetera. But interestingly enough, besides Black, they only had the races that you could say were the darker hue or the melanin folks like us, pretty much. But in the white category, it had folks that I was like, wait a minute, they can be counted as white now. So as time goes on, you all, what we are seeing is that as this country becomes more Black and brown, that the white race are adopting people in to keep their numbers up. So I'm all about love because I am a believer. And trust me, the fact that I do believe in the Lord Jesus, the one that they claim to, yet they abused and raped and did all those things to my ancestors. God knows if I didn't believe in him, I would be the opposite of the Proud Boys, okay? Of the people that did the insurrection at the Capitol. Trust
The
me.
Proud Girls.
Trust me. That's how I would be. I would be what is it? An eye for an eye, tooth for a tooth. Definitely.
Yeah.
But because I believe the unequivocal word of God, even though some of it I'm like, ooh, why you had to put that in there, Jesus? I kind of like, well, Jesus, you might have should have been just a little bit more radical, okay? Give us an out. But that's part of what being called to be different is, that you do what is right. So I was like, wow, they have made people that can be white that I would have never imagined would have been counted as white. So that that goes to show you that. So I'm of
Just
the, and granted,
building
let me
their
say this.
platform.
I live in Hoover. Let me put that out there.
What?
And I did,
Oh my gosh.
and I moved because I was angry with the Birmingham school system. Now roll back the hands of time, lesson learned. If I had to do a do-over, what I should have done was ran for what is this? Board of Education and all that stuff.
Board of
Yeah, but I
Education,
was
right?
younger then and didn't know no better, had nobody educated me. So I'm trying to educate y'all. When you are in a space and you have people that look like you, that's not doing what they're supposed to do, you need to give every energy you got to get rid of them. To get rid of them. I hope in the next upcoming election, you all take that to heart. Get rid of them, period. So I wonder,
Well,
go on.
go ahead. You want to read? You
Go
want to
on.
read
I'll
what?
look going to say what you're gonna say because I'm looking up this census and I'm gonna look
I
up
think
Katanji.
I think that you know matter hinges on our togetherness or our lack thereof. We have
Yeah.
not been unified as a body of people in a long time, and that's why we have so many problems now. Our kids are killing each other because they don't understand who they are, because nobody sat down with them to tell them. And when things like this come up, many people get upset. Well, if we had measures in place that would not even affect us when things like this come down the pike, we wouldn't really care. You I'm really concerned about where we are as a people in this particular space and time because we're not focused as a rising ship raises all, a rising tide
Yeah.
raises all ships. We are focused on me is all I see and how things affect me and my household. And I get it, but we can't leave the masses behind trying to grasp the apple tree. So, ladies and gentlemen, my views are my views, and I could be a whole lot more vocal, but Valerie told me I can't be
I didn't say you couldn't be
because we'll
vocal.
be
I said watch your language and your
we'll be
terms.
because we'll be because we'll be censored. And I'll light your
Hey, I don't
behind
want to
up.
have to call LaSharie and
Right.
say, go in there. You remember on was it Apollo when they used to get the hook and drag you
Yeah.
off the
Oh yeah, yeah. Dun, 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 dun. The
now,
Sandman come
and
and get
granted,
you.
I'm gonna
Or
say,
the Gong
I'm
Show.
gonna voice my opinion. I was
Yeah.
having a conversation with someone on yesterday, and we were talking about the inequalities in work. And y'all, you got to realize this is going to spill over into the workplace. This is going to spill over into every aspect of our lives. It's already hard enough for Black people in certain spaces to get promotions. Now we're put at the manager level and occasionally director, senior director, but never at those seats where we can be a part of truly making policy changes. So this person was talking about things on their job and how things were. So what I said was, have you offered, have you said anything to those people that have been doing this? Well, no, no, no. And I said, well, that's part of the problem. And I said, well, are you a coward? And to my surprise, they said yes. So I had to say, okay, at least you owning it. You owning it. I had to respect you for that. But the thing about it, as Valton said, you all, we have got to speak up. I have been a nurse for 34 years. I can get my first retirement in a couple of years. I am not fighting for me. I'm fighting for those younger than me, my kids, my grandkids, if I have any or not have any, your grandkids, great grandkids, and our future. If we sit on our stool of do nothing and do nothing, we're gonna lose. And on the to follow what Valter said about our race, we got so much internalized oppression, and we have mentally, it's just unreal. And I was actually reading a article the other day, and I got to look it up because Dr. Max Michaels, who worked at Cooper Green, who was a CEO, gave this these stats somewhere, but this, what is it? David Shearer about the town that comes out around all about the town.
Yeah.
This gentleman
Right.
was talking about inequalities, and he said what was pivotal for him was that Dr. Max Michaels was given a talk on, it's this new studying that they're doing, that they are able to determine that the trauma that happened in your family, specifically in Black families, it manifests, they know, at least two generations. And it comes in the form of mental illness, hypertension, those the stressor things that the human was not designed to always be in a state of crisis and having to overcome. So they're even tying things to that. So y'all, if we don't wake up and do something and fight for our very lives, we're gonna be in a terrible state. And as Valton said, we haven't been together so long because we're divided. That was the biggest thing. To divide and conquer is what has happened to our race. If you, even in all the Hispanics people, they pretty much stay together. Even if they move in another community, they end up almost on the same blocks or whatever. You know what I'm saying? They intentionally. We are so divided. Case in point, I'm not saying Clarence Thomas have to agree with everything, but as a Black man who grew up poor, who benefited from this, and now that you have arrived, you acting like you were born with a silver spoon in your mouth.
Well, let's talk about that. Clarence Thomas may be the color of
True.
black, and that's about all he is. Um, he has not been respected by the masses for his decision making unless it affects the African American community
True.
negatively. He has largely been held a hero because he married a buffalo. I'm sorry, he
Stop
married
that.
uh, he, 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 he,
La
he
Cherie, go get
married.
your go get him.
He, well, well, I'm a filmmaker, so I get to say what I want to say, right? So, but what I'm saying is that while he is a justice and he does what he does, we have no real use for him in the African American community. He is not a Thurgood Marshall. He is not a Judge U.W. Clemens. He is just a person that they have placed in a position that they can maintain a puppet for what it is. So we are in a lot of trouble,
Definitely.
but that's in the natural. But in the spirit world, we're really not
Amen.
because we know God is in control of it
Yeah.
all.
And I closed my
Um,
when I posted on Facebook. That's what I ended with, because I'm coming for you. Because what I said at the end, I
yeah,
said the Most High God is in charge, and He will set it all in order. And be assured, you reap what you sow, and your reaping coming. Oh, it's coming. See, you ain't gonna get away. And I want to read this from the letter from the Birmingham jail, just a synopsis, because I had to dissect this in the middle of the pandemic with the initial racial upheaval. It's almost like they forgot, oh, the foot on George Floyd neck, Trayvon Martin, all this, the mistreatment of Black people unjustly. That's all been thrown away now. But one of the things I wrote was that what Martin Luther King said in here was that standing up against wrong is never timely for those not affected by it. I had to share with one of my friends. I said, have you ever had to toss and turn about when your child is out just praying and hoping that they get home safe?
they make it home safely, right?
Do you have to
Right.
have a
You know,
conversation
Valerie.
with, now if the police pull you over, now you got to have, if the police pull you over, keep your hands, don't reach for nothing, don't even try to get your license till they get
Yeah,
there. Don't
yeah,
say anything,
right,
don't get
right,
smart,
right,
and they
right.
still
You know, I
may
get it.
not make it.
I get it. You know, when I started driving in 1980, I was about 15, and my parents allowed me to have the car and stuff like that. And didn't even have a driver's license for that matter. But the baby of the family, I got certain privileges. But nevertheless, I started working for a law firm, and it was an all white firm. And they said, if anything ever happens, call
Mm-hmm.
us. Well, something did happen, and and I called them, and it was cool. And so I grew up in this era, like 16, 17, 18, that if I get in trouble, I can call my boys and they can get their dads to get me out of trouble. And it has worked. Here I am almost 60 years old and it's still
Yeah.
working, you know. But I'm the fortunate one because the kids that are coming behind me, they don't have that opportunity, right? So I've had to have that conversation with my children, particularly the youngest child, because she's
Yeah.
20 and and she likes to drive fast.
Mm-hmm.
So she did get pulled over by a state trooper, and she called me and this sort of thing, that thing, but it all worked out. But for the people who don't have the privilege of knowing these folk, it's a problem. So we've got to have a conversation with our kids. We've got to have a conversation with our kids again, and we got to have a conversation with our kids again, because there's a whole world that's coming, and these folk don't look like us. That's coming for
Oh
us.
yeah, it's right. It's rising. You know what I told them?
You
It's
know?
gonna make
Yeah.
January 6th insurrection crowd look like some kittens. You know what I'm saying? Because it's getting more. I want to read something else from the Birmingham new letter. It said this. He said right here that whatever affects one directly affects all indirectly. And he
Mhm.
spoke to this about the demonstrations, y'all. You deplore the demonstrations taking place in Birmingham, but your statement, I am sorry to say, fails to express a similar concern for the conditions that brought about the demonstration. People ain't just out here complaining about
Right.
stuff.
Right.
And I know you all try to do this narrative that black people just want handouts. We've always been a working people. And the system that you
Yeah.
set up with your now zip code redlining, you took all the trade schools
Right.
out of the inner city schools where people graduated, especially our young black boys, graduated with a trade. You've taken that out, but they're still in rural areas where predominantly white people are. Hoover has one out here. So why have we taken away the things that will help us get ahead? Because as I say, every time black folks close that gap, you change the rules of the game out of fear because you know
Mhm.
you're not as great and smart as you think you are. Now, I don't want you not to have, but I'm sick and tired of you not wanting me to have.
Right. Having more than I can actually acquire.
Yeah, yeah, and
Well,
let me read this comment from
we've got to do
Tashonda.
something about it.
She said taking prayer out of schools. I have mixed feelings about that one, Tashonda. What you think, Valter?
Well, you know,
I know what she means. I know
before that,
exactly what she means.
she said she has this conversation with her son
Yeah.
all the time. Um, so uh, the challenge here is that our kids travel to and fro, far and near,
Mm-hmm.
and because my connections run deep politically and fraternally, both on the police side and in my organization of Kappa Alpha Psi Fraternity Incorporated, I'm connected. Therefore, my children have some connection because I'm
Mm-hmm.
connected. But when we travel to places that they don't give a damn about that sort of thing, then that puts them in harm's way, right? Along with myself. But I have the vernacular that can possibly get me out of things that could be a challenge for myself. But when those who don't understand what I'm saying, they think that I'm being smart, you know. So, and when like the other day, yesterday, in fact, a county officer pulled me over. I didn't even tell our story about this, and he pulled
Confessions on
behind
the
he
app.
pulled behind my car. He pulled behind my car. He didn't really pull me over. He just pulled behind my car. Wrongly, I was parked in a fire lane. Nobody ever, whatever. I'm getting coffee. All right. Dude comes in. Hey man, you need to move your car because there's a fire lane. And I turned around and I said, "Are you talking to me?" And he said, "Yeah, I'm talking to you. Is that your Escalade?" I said, "Is that your Suburban?" I said, "So you pull behind me to tell me about moving my car, but you're parked behind me." I said, the only thing I need to do right now is pick up the phone and call thus and so because I do voiceovers for thus and so, and we can resolve this right here. I said, can I buy you a cup of coffee or do you want to buy mine? And he was like, okay, just don't park here again. I said, don't you park here again. See, I'm that smart.
LaSharie, we're gonna pray for you, baby.
Yeah, please, because I've been this way since I was a kid. But nevertheless, we have to make sure we protect our space. I don't let anybody get up on me. I don't, and my kids are the same way, unfortunately, because they'll call me if something goes down. Then I have to get them out of that crap. But nevertheless, what Sean is saying to Shonda is saying that she prayed for her son. He travels
Yeah.
back and forth. I get it, Sean. He goes to a place that is predominantly white. I get it. But let's talk about this prayer in school piece that Valerie is like she disagrees with. Well, praying in school is one thing in your heart, but publicly is something else, right? So you can't put on your God to a population of people in school that may not believe in God. You may have Hindu, you may have all types of people, right? So you have to be cognizant of the fact that prayer is not canned in the form of a classroom, but it's canned in your heart.
But
So
see, that ain't the
there we go.
reason I have mixed emotions about it. I said I disagree with it. I have mixed emotions.
No, not
No,
you. I'm
I'm talking
talking
about
about for me.
me. This is my mixed emotion. These people had church by the river, baptism, and then hung black folks in the tree right by the river. That's my problem. This so-called country built on Christian values was not, in God we trust. God finally revealed to me what they meant by that. It's on the money. That's their God. We missed it. It took a long time, but the Holy Spirit revealed to me. In this God we trust. They just didn't put the this because they want to keep us off. So they have in God we trust on the money, money. And that is their God, clearly demonstrated by what they do. The way we do capitalism here, we just allow people to super overcharge folks, okay? Payday loans, all of this stuff. And they're in the predominantly what? Black neighborhood. Ain't no payday loans in Mountain Brook. Ain't none, and it may be a few now. They did let a few come in Hoover, but they're strategically placed. You know what I'm saying? They're strategically placed.
Yeah.
So you don't have, so don't come talking to me about let's stand around and prayer and then assume something bad happened in the country. Prayer, it's okay to pray. No, I don't want to pray with you now. You ain't want to pray before? Pray. Go on and pray. However, what is your heart? Where's your prayer getting? It's like my dad used to say, I don't need you to pray if your prayer just going out your lips and that's it. It ain't even getting close to the Father's ears.
Yeah.
So that's my thing with prayer in school, because we always want to pray, but faith without works, faith and prayer without works is dead.
Is dead.
Prayer is
Yeah.
always in
So
order, but we need
a lot of
actions.
people, Valerie, a lot of people are saying that the overturning is why we built HBCUs. Okay. So if that is the case, people, if the overturning of the is why we built HBCUs, we then need to shore up the enrollment to HBCUs. We need to lean on our student athletes to go to HBCUs, and we need coaches to go to HBCUs to coach. When we lost Deion Sanders, Coach Prime, Colorado, from Jackson State, we lost a voice because nobody has stepped up in that type of capacity with that type of voice to voice the concerns of an HBCU. So if we are so concerned about this revelation that we knew was going to happen at some point,
Yeah.
we need to step up our endurance and our enrollment and our intentionality to make something happen. Period. Period.
Yeah.
If you don't
And
like
I was,
if you don't like your check engine light being on, do something about it and fix it.
yeah, go
Stop
get it
complaining.
service.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
Tashonda, they do the standings. I know they do the silence. They do the silent prayers and all of that. But it's all just for public show. Where is your heart? Where is your heart? Your actions show where your heart is. And today, the 6 men on the Supreme Court, where the 6 people on the Supreme Court showed their heart. I forgot about the white female. I forgot her name. But they showed their heart. They showed their heart that at all costs, we are going to maintain the power, authority of white people
All
in
right.
America
All right.
at all.
So let's deal with that word silence. Silence. That means being quiet. I don't care if you're standing up with your pants down on 20th Street, Birmingham, on at 12 noon with 1,000 cars driving by. You're being silent. Silence has no place in society in my world today. You've got to be vocal about what you want to see change. If the squeaky wheel gets the oil, damn it, be a squeaky wheel. I ain't for being silent regarding this kind of stuff. Bump all that crap. We have been silent long enough. Yeah, I'm the Malcolm X right now. Yeah. By any means necessary. I get it. Please understand me. I get it. I was the young 17-year-old who was in the courtroom when George Wallace said, "Come here, son. Let me tell you, I'm sorry for what I did to your people." Okay, yeah, okay, I'm that guy. I saw that stuff transition from Miss Foster and all these people. I get it. But doggone it, you got to stop being quiet at some point. Stand up, pull your straps up from your boots, as Clarence Thomas would say in another arena. But we've got to be vocal about what we see, what's happening. And if we're going to be vocal about it, let's take all our kids out of these daggone white schools and put them in a HBCU. Get them
Yeah,
where it hurts.
and then the thing you have to do too, because the funding ain't definitely is not the same for
No,
HBCUs. So
heck no.
HBCUs cost more. But I'm a firm believer. Unified, we can do it. We can do it, but we gotta be able to make sacrifices. That means you may not be able to buy your Maserati because you need to donate to the cause. See, our problem is we are not selfless people. We are selfish. We are still living this. I just gotta get. If I get the big house on the hill, if I live right here, I'm gonna be okay. Now, trust me, where I live in Hoover, it ain't one of them uppity bougie neighborhoods. I'm gonna
Yeah, it
say
is,
that,
y'all.
okay?
She
No,
live
it's
on the
not.
cul-de-sac and it's
My
all
house,
set
listen,
off.
my house was built in 1974. And when I
Don't
moved
matter.
out here, I got questioned about that. Well, why you buying that house? It's older. Because you don't tell me how to spend my money. And plus, I know what there are other things I like to do. One thing I would never do, I would never have my debt get to a place where I cannot be a giver and help others. And I'm not talking about just tithing and giving back to the Lord where He's giving me. I'm talking about beyond that, helping someone. Can you send money to a child that's in school
Right.
that their parents don't have any extra? They're doing all they can.
Yep.
I have somebody on here too. We've had people probably in college with our kids. I taught my kids. Now I can't do that for you, mom. I got to do this for this person. So that's what I'm talking about. But in fact, I got this census up. So the 2020 census was the first time they actually put in italics out to the side.
Uh-huh.
What as a matter of fact, I might be able to share this. Let me see. Hold on a minute. Because I want y'all to see this. I found this very interesting. Um, very interesting. Yeah, I think I can share it. Somebody type and let me know. Can you all see this? Is it sharing?
No.
Wait a minute. You know what? I forgot. I forgot I gotta bring it in. Hold on a
Oh,
minute. There you go. Let me
y'all.
take. I was for a minute, I thought I was in Zoom. Okay, so this right here, you all. Let me make it bigger. This is the census from 2020, okay? And over here, I have asterisk in purple. It says white. It can be German, Irish, English, Italian, Lebanese, Egyptian, etc. Now, I don't know how you find out what the etc. But what stood out to me on this was Lebanese and Egyptian. I give them the German. I question Irish and even Italian. But it goes to show you that they are changing who they are counting as white.
Well, let's file a lawsuit against it. Let's file a lawsuit, a federal lawsuit, and say identify what the heck is, etc. Why are Lebanese counted as white folk when they got an olive colored skin? I mean,
Yeah.
these type of things can be done. They're just building their platform. That's all.
That's why I say as the world becomes more black and brown, they're changing it. And what you saw for us, it, like I said, it was African American, Jamaican, Haitian, Nigerian, Ethiopian, Somalian. Obviously, you can say these are black folks versus Lebanese and Egyptian. That just kind of floored me, the Lebanese and Egyptian.
And then you got the etceteras. So are those the dogs that they love to say that they're their pets and their children? That they want to identify as.
Yeah, well, my next thing, because I'm going to request from the census, I want to have an exhaustive list, as you said, Valton.
Mm-hmm.
Who can be identified as what on the census based on these categories that you now have? You all, these are questions we have to be asking.
Yeah.
We have to ask, and then demand better. I want to hear what our state folks and our people in DC, our representatives about this decision today, as well as the things that we allow Steve Marshall to do right there in Montgomery. And our folks that's black, very quiet. Yet you keep on electing them. And I'm gonna see. Can y'all read my shirt? I don't know. Can you read it, Valton? Can you see it? Let me move.
It says the past I can forgive. It's the pattern I can't rock with.
Yeah, the
Is that
pattern.
correct?
It's the pattern. See, I can forgive you if you mistreat me, but when you keep doing it, it's the pattern.
Yeah.
It's the pattern. You keep saying one thing, but you are doing another. So
yeah. So I think what you need to do, Valerie, is grow an afro. And wear a peace sign around your neck. Wear that medallion, baby.
Well, listen, I take pride in it. And I'm going to say this, Valton, you was talking about us coming together. First of all, there are not many leaders in the history of the world. If you go look at the Bible and everything, majority of people are scared, okay? They're scared. However, they will jump on the bandwagon when you've gone and take all the cuts, the bruises, the broken bones and everything. Right. And, oh, you were so great. Don't talk to me. Don't talk to me.
Yep.
So I had two parents. So I got Harriet Tubman, Frederick Price, Angela Davis, all of them. Malcolm.
Yeah.
All of them is in my bones, okay? Just like the Holy Spirit, just like fire. They can get fired too. But I try to, at the point, I wake up in the morning, I say, okay, Lord, let me represent well. And there are some things I have to step back from just for peace of mind. And there are some things I address and some things I have to wait a minute. And let me talk about that. I don't wait because I don't want to be viewed as an angry black woman, because there are some things you need to feel every fiber of what I'm saying. I want you to recall sometime. As a matter of fact, at this training, I was getting ready to say something. And I said, before I said it, I said, this is going to trigger somebody. And that's exactly why I'm saying that. I wanted to trigger you. That's my intent. I'm not going to nice some things up for you to become. I actually have a shirt that says, I will not be silenced so you can be comfortable. We need to be uncomfortable in these spaces. You all, and shame on us as a race if we do not wake up and start speaking out about these things. At some point, we're going to have to decide that we're going to keep taking this in our future generations. You think they're suffering now? They are going to be really oppressed on jobs. They're going to be back to making minimum wage and won't have a recourse. They're going to be definitely overlooked for promotions and all different things, because with this, you can be assured they're going to go back and attack diversity on college campuses as it relates to making sure you have equality there. They're going to take away the DEI programs in institutions such as hospitals, places like AT&T, those big companies, they're going to take all of that away. And when you're going to look again, our kids and their kids will be 100 years from now saying, "Oh, we've had the first black or the first Hispanic person in 200 years." We'll be having these same firsts all over again. And let me talk about the black
Right.
church. Pastors, y'all got to get yourself together and start speaking loudly about this stuff rather than bigging these mega churches in impoverished neighborhoods and the neighborhood never change.
Sucking all the money out of the
Because
neighborhood.
as Valton said, we could come in and have some businesses and employ people ourselves if need be. I mean, because I'm tired of fighting for the equality of race and let me be accepted. You ain't got to accept me. I accept me. God has accepted me. I'm
Right.
made in this image, whether you feel like I am or not. And see, I'm one of them chicks. I work 3 part-time jobs to make it in this world. And see, that's the thing. We're not sacrificing people. We have bought into the American lie. And I say lie. Get successful, have a house. You gotta travel everywhere. You need a vacation home. You need this. And speaking of, I wasn't gonna mention this better, but I'm gonna talk about it. Let's talk about
Oh,
another hot topic. That
what's that?
submersible submarine. Okay. 250K a pop. Okay. Now,
Sit down the
I
drain.
know what y'all say. You can't tell folks how to spend their money. But I'm wondering how many of these white men, if there had been a child, it got to be a black child, a poor white child, a Hispanic child, had said, you know what? I'm in my last year of school. I need $50,000 to pay my tuition, my lad, or whatever. I wonder what they have given it to them. Or would they have saw
Nope.
them want a handout? But you can waste
No.
money.
The guy was sued because he didn't return the money to some folks that didn't take the trip.
Yeah.
So I mean, to answer that question is no, he wasn't gonna get the money back. I mean, he wouldn't pay
Yeah,
anybody.
but that's my thing. So you will see somebody that is, as y'all say, trying to pull themselves up by the bootstraps. Now you need to work hard. You need to get a loan. If you got 250K to waste and actually lead to your demise, I would much rather help this child finish school or go to trade
Yeah,
school or buy them a
that's if
car.
you have that. You got to have the heart to want to
That's what I'm
help
talking
somebody.
about.
Somebody on Facebook says, encourage your children to attend an HBCU like never before.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're at the point we're telling y'all stuff y'all already know. You know, we don't stand together for anything. We could beat this horse dead and dead and dead and dead again. But the fact of the matter is, nobody's going to listen. You're going to do whatever the hell you want to do continuously and get the same or expect the same result or different results, but you're going to get the same result. So do what you want to do. Do what you want to do. But as for me and my house, we're going to try to serve the Lord and do what we know
Right.
that is right.
And I'm going to say this. If you don't want to be in the fight, don't come calling me. I'm just going to keep it real. Don't call me when they bust you upside your head. If you weren't concerned about this person over getting their head knocked off, no, I can't help you. And my sister just wrote, those who forget and don't want to remember the past, doomed to repeat it. The black race has forgotten the past. We are too divided. And part of that, sister, is we didn't teach the past like it should have been taught. And then when we came to our realization, now they want to call that racism through CRT. When you're telling the truth, when we now know that many of these inventions were invented by our forefathers, and they were stolen, and they benefited from getting rich. Yet they don't feel like we owed anything, that they're gotten rich off the land that was given to the free slave, then taken right back. A few of them got to keep it, but yet they have benefited from the massacre of the Native American Indians, and they still treating them like lesser than too. However, some of them have shifted because they have arrived. They got a little change, and not realize a stroke of a pen. If you get too mighty, you know what? I'm gonna tell you what this did to me today. This SCOTUS decision. You know how they used to say,
Uh-huh.
stay in your place. This was a
Yep.
stay in your place. We ain't gonna let but so many of y'all rise up. No, we can't have too many of y'all become a doctor. No, we can't have too many of y'all become a nurse. No, we can't have too many of y'all become a lawyer. Because y'all, even though we may look at it and think a lot of us have certain type jobs, we don't. We don't, you all. And living in Birmingham even makes you believe that lie more because of the uh, population of black folks here. So you think the rest of the world looks like this. It doesn't. It doesn't. So anyway, this was a good hot topic and a good soapbox.
Yeah. Been good.
So
Been good.
listen, I need everybody listening. Y'all need to go out here, share this, talk to your children, talk to your pastor, get him up off him or her off of their laurels. It's time for church folks coming together, congregate, get out in these streets and interact and enact change. So
Yeah.
you got anything you want to add, Val? Well, Val, you got to share with the people.
I gotta share it with the
Yes.
people. Well, folks, my take on life is do what you got to do for the masses of people,
Yes.
and my love is for young people. As many of you know, some don't. We have been running film camps since March, trying to make sure our young people, particularly in the inner city, understand that they can be voiceover artists, producers, directors, and things of that nature, and actually be in a movie. They didn't know because they didn't know. Nobody ever went to their communities to tell them. Well, with that being said, we are running 5 camps right now, 5, and we've had a wonderful time for the last 3 weeks, 2.5 weeks, with our young people. And because of that body of work and the work we've done with Welcome to Dundre Heights, we have now gotten certain platforms. Again, I can't mention those right now because we're waiting on the major one to pick it up. But we're going to start bringing a lot more television and entertainment to television for your pleasure. So Val and I have talked about it, and I decided along with her that my time, I don't have the bandwidth to carry forth a quality programming for Conversation is Art. She and I talked about it, and she agreed that because I'm in and out so much, that she wanted to fire me. So she fired.
You gotta stop that.
But I understand the nature of this work, and what has happened is I have 3 film that are getting ready to start filming in the next 30 days, and I just don't have the bandwidth to do all the stuff that I'm doing, and I wanted to make sure that you all understood that I'm not abandoning Val or the role. I just have some things else that has my attention right now that could possibly add more value to this platform while I'm gone. So I think Valerie has some things that she wants to share with you all. But tonight will be my last night on Conversation is Art, the Val and Val show, because of the work that I have in queue that that needs my attention. And I'm looking at a cross that Val to says your territory is enlarged. I miss you. I miss you too, Valerie. I sure will,
And
girl.
y'all, this is a sad day for me, but I mean, it was obvious it was coming, and so y'all may be wondering what's going to happen with Conversation is Art. I don't know yet. Don't know yet. I am actually being prayerful about that. When Val and I started this, I was actually going to start. I was looking into start my own podcast, and this came about, and it was actually an answer to prayer, just to get me acclimated, to what it would require and everything. So I'm not sure. Valta has given me permission that I continue using the name Conversation is Art.
Permission, whatever.
But I'm gonna decide that. I do have a guest book for next week. Gonna definitely honor that. And I have a request out to someone else. So I gotta wait to hear back from them. However, in the meantime, and continuing forward, let us hear from you all because I need to know You all think, should I keep going? Should I try to carry on and maybe have some guests, what do you call them, hosts, um and
Yeah.
everything?
And I'd love to come back at some
Oh
point
yeah,
and
you'll
say
come
hello,
back in because we
everybody.
got to keep up with what's going on with you. So, and
Yeah.
a part of me thinks I, get through with these folks I have scheduled and then step back and just revamp because I really want to learn some more stuff to how to, make this more meaningful and maybe even end up changing platforms so that we can have phone calls coming in, which I think will be great. But I have to learn all of that thing. The great thing about it, I'm gonna do a shout out to him. I got a church member. He the boss, Strict City.
Trick
Yeah.
City.
Look, LaSharie told me most definitely carry on, Valerie. So
Yeah,
I
of course.
definitely, I
You better.
definitely let you all know. I know after I get the confirmation from last guest, maybe one show for next week, and then I would definitely be taking a break until September 1. And hopefully by then the Holy Spirit will have led me which way I need to go. Because I want to be able to my sister said, you can do this, sis. Uh, I want to make sure that number one, I'm being led by the Holy Spirit, and the fact that Valton cannot be here anymore. I need to make sure that God wants me to continue this on, because honestly, we were only supposed to be doing this for a year, wasn't it, Valton? And we've
Right.
stayed
That's
at
right.
3. And we hadn't even been concerned about the numbers because one thing we didn't do because of Valton had just started getting his feminine and everything. We didn't really do a whole lot of promotion of trying to get out there and go viral like a lot of people. Because when you do that, you got to be able to commit to that kind of thing. So everybody wants to grow large, but you got to count up the cost. So I'm definitely a cost kind of person. So I want you all to be praying for me. And either way,
We
yeah,
got
and
you.
either way it go, I would definitely have made a decision by I'm gonna say after Labor Day. I would definitely have made a decision whether I'm gonna continue platform. I told Valton, I said, you have to make me get another son. It's the Val and Val show. What's
Keep it. Keep it.
but I probably
Keep
will
it.
because I like to spin. I just tell him it depends on which Val you're gonna get tonight. You're gonna get look,
Yeah,
the
right.
Valerie from Atmore, Alabama, or the one from Atmo. They are different. They are different. So definitely. But I would definitely be praying. We've enjoyed the time we've had the 3 years. We've got to meet
Yes,
some
we
people.
have. Thank you
Yes.
all
I mean,
so
we
much
still got friends.
for the
Andy
love and
Stokes,
support.
still stay in touch with him.
Yep.
And I mean, all these, most of the people that we've
Yep.
interviewed,
Right
we
along.
still have a relationship with them. Carter, Carter started
Yep.
out booking all of our people. And then look, Carter ran off and left us. Now Carter got sick, and we had to tell Carter
Yeah,
he had
yeah.
to sit down and rest some because he was doing too
Right.
much, working a full-time job and also working his booking agent as a so he just needed to rest. Your body will shut you down sometime, as you all know.
Yeah, well,
Mr.
tell me
Hardhead
about
here. I'm just gonna leave that right. They ain't gonna say nothing else about him.
it. Hey, but I listened to the
Yeah. Oh, me and LaSharie was gonna take you out if you hadn't. So you didn't have no choice but to listen. For sure, for sure.
but folks, let me say I really have enjoyed meeting you, knowing you, and for you chiming in and giving us your opinions on the Val and Val show. And Valerie, I have really grown because of you in the media space. Thank you for your patience. And even up to this day, I still don't know how to operate the restream, but that's okay. That's
And that's why you got fired.
You're right, right, right,
Hey,
right. But you are a phenomenal host, and I wish you well. And whatever I can do to help grow your platform, I'm
oh
here for
yeah.
it.
And
Trust me.
look, Valton is my brother, him and LaSharie are my sister, okay? We are family
Yeah,
forever, regardless of what the final decision
yep, yep,
is.
yep.
So I thank you. Valton has really grown me. He's been in the media. He does voiceover and everything. So I've learned a lot. I've had fun. So who knows? I don't
Yes,
know if I'll be making
great.
this conversations art or another podcast. Who knows? I'm just gonna be
Yeah,
prayerful.
yeah. It'll be another podcast. Ladies and gentlemen, she's being modest. She's got a podcast coming on. She's gonna be interviewing Oprah Winfrey, Magic Johnson next week. We got it going
I
on,
don't
y'all.
want to.
Y'all better
I
watch
want to.
out
You
for the
know
Dallas.
me. I like interviewing mainly regular folks. You know what I'm saying? Even though that's okay to have some of the limelight people, but Oprah been interviewed a lot. And then you get Oprah on here. Then somebody be, oh, want to do this. They may want to take me too fast.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I feel
So
you.
I want to
I
be
feel you. They doing what
uplift.
they can.
I want to be like, what was it? Keno Wayans was. He said when he did the
Yeah.
in Living Color, he said I went and got people that were on the chitlin circuit. If y'all don't know what that means, Google it. Chitlin circuit. And hired them because I saw they were talented and
Yep.
needed opportunity like Valton is doing. He's bringing in some main names, but the majority of Valton cast, look, these folks ain't even acted before. Valton gave them a chance.
Right.
I know
Well,
one thing. If I don't get my talk show host a nurse wrote up in there, I'm gonna have an attitude. I'm just saying.
oh, we got you. We got you covered. We got you. Trust me. We got you
I'm
covered.
gonna have a real bad attitude.
Covered.
But anyway, you all, we thank you all. We have enjoyed, and definitely come back next week because I have someone from my hometown, you all. Her name is Tony Roberts, and she has written a book about
Tony.
parenting towards perfection, the insights of a Christian mother. And y'all, it's a great book. You can buy it on Amazon. It's a powerful testimony. And I don't have the link right now, but I will add it to the page when we log off.
All right. And because I'm going to be away, if you have a person who has a birthday and they can provide you proof of that birthday, I will give them a book on your
Y'all
show.
heard that? You can provide proof of the birthday. So remember that and everything.
Just let me know, and I'll cash app you to
Yeah,
get the
and
book.
look, when Valton have his events of things coming out, we would definitely be posting this. The conversation is art pack is not going to be taken off Facebook, okay? Even if I don't come back to
Yeah,
the show,
right.
we will still use it as a promotional page. It's up and might as well. Because they're
Eleanor says she has a birthday next
she
next
does.
Thursday.
Oh, she
Is
already
that
don't
for?
got it. She sure does. July 6th. Ask me how I
Does she?
know. My
All
mama's
right.
anniversary, my daughter's birthday. They all right there together.
You disqualify, Eleanor. You disqualify. So Valerie, I'll send you a cash app to get her
Okay, I
book.
will. And I'll let you know. Okay.
All right.
Well, you all have a good
Okay.
night.
All right,
Enjoy.
ladies and gentlemen, this is Valton Johnson, and I am signing off from the Val and Val Show. Conversation is art. I
Love
love you
y'all.
guys. Take care.